In this session, I would like to talk about how to live in your house without any worry. As a human, we have a lot of things going on in our life. We have a lot of worry, right? We worry about ourselves. We worry about other people. We worry about a lot of situations. So how to live without any worry? How to live in your house and have more happiness? When we talk about our house, we have some worry, right? When we go out of our house, we need to lock the door because we think like if we did not lock the door, some bad guy will break in and take our valuable thing. And sometimes when it's raining, we think like, oh, are there any leak on the roof? Are there any leak on the wall? At the window? Are there any water come into our basement? And sometimes when the weather is very cold, we need heater. If the heater did not work properly, we feel worry again. And sometimes when the weather is very hot, we need AC. And we need a lot of things to make our body, our life more comfortable. And some house has the garden. And the garden need more money to take care. Sometimes our house has the problem with animal. Big animal, small animal. Sometimes rat come into our house. Sometimes termite come to attack our house. So we need more service. When we need more service, like pest control, we need more money. In our house have a lot of system. We need a lot of things to take care for our house. And every year, we need to pay the insurance. And the cost of the insurance is very high. So when we have house, there are a lot of things to take care, a lot of things to worry about. How to live in our house and have a lot of happiness. In the Buddha time, the Buddha have talked about what is the purpose of the house. When we live in our house, the house or the shelter is used to protect us from the weather. Shelter protect us from the sun, from the rain, from the snow, even from the tornado. That is one of the purpose of the house. The Buddha said that the other purpose of the house is protect us from the small animal or the big animal. And the other purpose, we have our shelter because we need privacy. We need the bedroom that we can sleep peacefully. We need the restroom that can cover all our business, right? So, but sometimes even we have very good house, very comfortable house, but some people cannot have the peaceful mind. They have a lot of worry going on. In the Buddha time, King Pasenti, the great king in India at that time, the king would like to visit the Buddha. And at that time, the Buddha was in the forest. So the king came to visit the Buddha in the forest. When he saw the Buddha sat down under the tree and meditated. And the king take a look around the area that the Buddha sit down. He did not see any shelter. So he is very curious. He asked the Buddha, "Oh my Buddha, where did you sleep last night?" The Buddha said that, "I sleep here." The king take a look at the area and he found that the ground is very rough. The ground is very hard. And there are a lot of tree roots on the ground. It's not look very comfortable at all. So the king asked the Buddha, "My Buddha, the ground is very hard. The ground is very rough and have a lot of tree root? How can you sleep in this kind of area? Did you sleep well last night? And the Buddha said that, I sleep very well. And the Buddha asked the king, my king, how is your bedroom? The king said that, oh, my bedroom is very big, very comfortable. I have the most comfortable bed. I have the most comfortable mattress. And I have a lot of people who serve me at night. Everything is very good. And the Buddha asked him, how did you sleep? Did you sleep well? The king said that, oh my Buddha, I cannot sleep well. I have a lot of worry going on in my mind. I worry about the people. I worry about my country. I worry about my enemy. I worry about the war. I worry about a lot of things. So I cannot sleep well. And the Buddha said that, my king, when people have the impurity in the mind, greed, anger, delusion, they cannot sleep well at night. They will have a lot of worry in their mind. From the Buddha time, the Buddha gave some teaching about how to use the shelter, how to live peacefully to the monk. The Buddha said that when you want the good meditation level, you need to live in the forest. This training is very interesting, right? So from the Buddha time, from the ancient time, when the monk would like to do the intensive training, they will go to stay in the forest. But they did not go into the very deep forest because the monk did not cook the food. So they need to stay in the forest near the house of the people. So in the morning, they will carry the bowl to receive the food from the lay people. And when they finish the food, they will go back to meditate all day in the forest. Or sometimes they meditate all night too. And they don't have a lot of stuff to live outdoor. They just have the big umbrella to protect them from the rain, from the sun. And they have the mosquito net to protect them from the mosquito and small insect. It cannot protect from the big animal for sure. But for the big animal, sometimes the Buddha have the special chanting for the monk too. So live in the forest like this is not easy. But when you pass the training, you will feel like if you can live in the forest, you can live in anywhere in this world. Because anywhere in this world is much more comfortable than stay in the forest. And when you stay in the forest alone, you close to nature, the mind settle down very easy. Meditate very well. I have done this kind of training before. It's very good feeling, but it's not easy. And some monk would like to do more intensive training. The Buddha said that if you want more intensive training, you want more like a better meditation experience, you need to go to sleep in the forest that have the graveyard. This look scary, right? But it's very interesting, very useful. We are not talking about the graveyard in US because in US the graveyard is very beautiful. I can stay in the graveyard in US with no problem. Not quite very scary. But we're talking about the forest that have the area of the graveyard in India and in Thailand. In India, in the Buddha time, when the people pass away, other people will wrap the dead body with the white cloth. And then they will bring the dead body to put in the forest. And in the forest in India, they will have like some area that is the graveyard area, but they did not bury the dead body under the ground. When the monk want the new robe, it's like the robe like this. When they use the robe and the robe is getting old or sometimes damaged, they want the new robe. They go into the forest at the graveyard area and they pick up the white cloth from the dead body and dye the white cloth and use that cloth to make the robe like this. But for me, my robe is not come from the dead body. It came from the factory. Many years ago, when I was the new monk, I used this training. We are 5 monks, go together into the forest and meditate. And one day, my friend, his name is Luang Pi Nick. Nick asked me like, Luang Pi, this night can you go with me into the deep forest, into the graveyard area and meditate together? So I say, oh, okay, Nick, let's do it. So Nick prepared a big candle because at that time we are the new monk. We did not have the flashlight, and Nick light up the candle around 10 p.m. and we walk together into the deep forest at the graveyard area. When we arrive, Nick put down the candle and we meditate together. When you meditate in the graveyard area, you will feel like you are not alone. So it's quite scary, right? So I think about the Buddha all the time. My mind did not have any distraction. I continue the mantra all the time. It's very good if you always have a lot of distraction in your mind when you meditate. So at that night, I meditate very well. I think I meditate like 1 or 2 hours. And I feel like, I would like to go to the restroom. So I open my eye. When I open my eye, Nick disappear. So I took the candle and walked very fast to our living area. In the morning, when I met Nick, and I asked him like, oh, Nick, why you leave me in the forest last night? And Nick said, oh, Luang Pi, I saw you meditate very well. I saw you meditate very still. So I don't want to disturb you. Good idea. Leave me alone in the forest. From the training of the monk, there are some concepts that you can use in your house, in your everyday life. I think one of the concepts that you can use is the concept less stuff, less worry, and more happiness. When you have less stuff, you will have less worry. When you have less worry, you will have more happiness. You can do like this. Go into your house. You can begin with your bedroom. Bring all the stuff out of your bedroom. And then clean your bedroom very well. And after that, go to the stuff that you bring out of your bedroom and separate the stuff to 3 groups. Group number 1 is the stuff that you use every day. Group number 2 is the stuff that is important. So you need to keep it very well. And the other stuff go to group number 3. For the group number 1, you can bring it back into your bedroom. For the group number 2, you can put in the box and label it very well and keep it somewhere safe. And for the group number 3, you can put all the stuff of the group number 3 into the big box. And any time that you need it, you can bring out of the big box one by one. When you live like this for 6 months or 1 year, if anything stay in the big box, it means you don't need it. So you can donate to someone else. So when you have less stuff, you will have less worry. When you have less worry, you will have more happiness. And you can use this concept to any room in your house. The other concept that gonna help you to have less worry with your house is to check the function of the house often. Because in our house we have a lot of system, right? Piping system, gas system, electrical system. When all of these system break down or emergency, the cost is very high. You need to pay a lot of money. But when you check all the system regularly and make sure it's running properly, when you found the problem before the emergency breakdown, it will save a lot of money. Many years ago, when I was in California, I took care for our meditation center in California. And every day I will walk around the temple and check all the system of the temple. In summer, one day I walk past the ground. And in summer in California, the ground is very dry. And I found that, the grass growing on the ground. It's very strange because on the ground there are no water. How this grass can grow on the ground? So I come to check every day. The grass growing very well. And I know that under the ground there are some water. If there are some water, the water come from the piping of our temple for sure. So at that time we have 4 monks live together. So we have 4 monks help each other to dig the ground. We make very big hole, and we found that the main line of the water that come into our house is leaking. It's not very big leak, but the system or the piping cannot repair by themselves. So we plan to shut down the water and repair the pipe. If it's emergency and it's have like water breakdown, a lot of water come out, we need a lot of money. But when we detect first, and then we plan to do it by ourselves, it saves a lot of money. I think at that time we need to pay for the spare part for like not more than $30. So in your house, it have a lot of system. When you check often, if you found anything wrong, if you found it in the beginning, the cost will be very low. When it's become emergency, that is the thing that you need to pay a lot of money. So when you found something wrong in your house, even you don't have any knowledge to do it, you can find someone to help you. It's easier. And the other concept, deal with the worry in your mind. We deal with the physical thing already, right? With some concept like less stuff, less worry, check the function of the house. But sometimes even our house is very good, but you still have a lot of worry in your mind. The people in Thailand in the old day, they always said that when you are alone, be careful for your thought. When you are with others, be careful what you speak. Very good concept, right? Because when you are alone, sometimes we think about a lot of things, and some of the thought is negative. So how to deal with the thought when we are alone. The first tool that you can use is awareness. When you practice awareness or the feeling that you know your feeling, your emotion, your thought at that moment. You know your thought every moment. So when you have something wrong in your mind, you know it right away and you know how to deal with it. Awareness is very useful when we need to deal with our mind. And when you make the awareness continue, it will become the mindfulness. Awareness is like the detector for the mind. You know that, good thing happen in the mind, bad thing happen in the mind. If the mindfulness is like automatic detector, it's run 24/7. Oh, it's very good, right? To have the detector like this. When you have something wrong in your mind, you have the negativity come. You know how to deal with it. So, how to practice awareness? You can start with the basic 3 steps. In the morning, when you wake up in the morning, meditate for 1 minute. When you finish meditation, think like this. Oh, I'm so happy. I have another day to live. Today, I will bring my mind into the positive side. I will keep my mind in the positive side. I will do better. Oh, it's very good, right? Start the day with a good direction. And then every hour, set 1 minute. Meditate. Recharge the good energy to your mind. And when you finish the meditation, set the direction for the next hour. In the next hour, I will put my mind in the positive side. And you do like this the whole day. At night, when you go back home and you're going to sleep, before you sleep, think about the good thing that you have done on that day. When you think of all the good things, the mind will feel happy. When the mind feels happy, good energy flow to the center of your body. And then meditate and do the loving kindness meditation to send the good energy, the first one to your body, to yourself first. Make a good wishes for yourself and then send the good energy to other people, all being. It's like you recharge the good energy before you going to sleep, and you sleep in the area of the good energy. So if you practice like this more and more, it will become your new habit. When something wrong happen in your mind, you will know it right away. When negativity come, when anxiety come, when negative thought come, you know right away, and you can protect it and set the new direction. When we deal with something that happened in the mind, the other one is very good, is to find something to do to kill the time. Yeah, because sometimes if we have too much time will bring a lot of thought come to the mind too. So if you find something useful to do in your house, that is very good. Yeah. For example, clean your house. That is very good idea. Because when your house is very clean, when you see the house is clean, the happiness will come to the mind right away. Because everything we see will come to the mind and affect the mind. If the house is dirty, not good. Dirty picture come to the mind, and the mind have the negativity. So clean the house is very good. In our temple in Thailand, we have the training to clean the restroom. And the part of the restroom that is very difficult to clean is the toilet bowl. And the most difficult part of the toilet bowl is the center of the toilet bowl. We don't have any tool to clean the toilet bowl. We use the sponge that we use to clean our dishes. And I think 20 years ago, as I remember, in my temple, we don't use the globe with our hand. So we use the bare hand with the sponge. And in our temple, have the concept. When you go deeper to the center of the toilet bowl, when you go deeper, you will have clearer mind. Deeper, clearer mind. It's very good, right? In the beginning, I feel it's very tough. But when I pass this training, oh, I feel very good. I'm proud of myself. If I can clean the most dirty place, the mind is very clear and bright. I can do anything in this world. Oh, it's a very good idea, right? So find something that you can do and useful to kill the time. If you still have a lot of thought in your mind, a lot of worry in your mind, don't let it stay in your mind. Use the paper and the pen, write it down on the paper. Write down 1 worry, 2 worry, 10 worry, 100 worry. Bring the worry out of your mind. Because if we let the worry, negativity stay in our mind, it will multiply. It will not decrease. So when you write it down, and then when you have time, come to check the paper and find a way to solve the problem one by one. If we solve the problem, let's say like one day we solve one problem, one day we solve one problem. Eventually, when we pass 1 year, 2 years, you will have a lot less problem, right? When you have less problem, you have less worry. And after that, you can add some wisdom into your mind. The very good thing to do is to meditate. Or if you have too much worry in your mind, you cannot sit down and meditate. You can start with the chanting. Or you cannot even do some kind of chanting. You can turn on, maybe open the video on YouTube to listen to some kind of chanting that you like. Any chanting, Buddhist chanting, Christian chanting, Muslim chanting, any chanting, any rhythm, any voice that you like. When you listen to the chanting, the mind will calm down. And then try to meditate. Because every time when you meditate, the mind will be more and more refined. When the mind is more and more refined, the thought will be clear out of your mind, little by little. The impurity in your mind will decrease, and you can feel more and more inner peace from inside. You can feel more and more happiness from inside. And if you have time, you can study some Dhamma. Like open some video about the Dhamma talk to have some good idea come to your life and try to practice little by little. So that is the first concept. When you are alone, be careful for your thought. The other concept, when you are with other people, be careful what you speak. Oh, that is very important, right? Because sometimes our word bring the trouble to our life. So if we can have the feeling like think before we speak, that is very useful. So I think you can use the same tool, the awareness. Check your feeling often. Know before you speak. Think before you speak. And you can use another tool that called the mantra. You can use some simple mantra like talk less, talk less. It will bring awareness to your mind. And it will remind you, think before you speak. Think before you speak. You can create your own mantra too. So use the concept. When you are alone, be careful for your thought. When you are with other people, be careful what you speak. It will bring a lot of happiness to your life. It will decrease the worry in your mind. So continue practicing. Clear your house, clean your house, check and maintain your house. Make sure that all the system in your house work properly. Don't bring a lot of problem into your life. And use the concept when you are alone, be careful for your thought. When you are with other people, be careful what you speak. So hope you enjoy the session and hope you continue practicing and continue improving your life.